Well, hello there, tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of crate gambling. You can see here there was a bundle in the store for $27 Canadian that gave me 7,500 gold and 3 of each of these types of containers. So in today's video, I might as well see if I can get any tanks from them. And if I do actually get a vehicle from these crates, I will do a review on it. So let's get right on into this opening here. And I guess I'll just start from the left side and make my way towards the right. So starting off with, we have a laggy crate. And oh yes, we get a Skoda crate, Chimera, and another Skoda crate. So that's interesting there. Next up, we have, I'll open up these ones after now because they're now at the end of the line. So let's move on to these awesome containers. Oh yeah, 7 days of premium. I definitely need that. Let's see what's next. Oh, more times fives. Wow, these crate opening session. Oh, what's this? Ah, okay. I thought it was gonna be something because it was a long list of items. But yeah, these crates are going really well so far. Let's open up some Halloween containers that I definitely don't need. Oh yeah, look at that. All of these boosters. Oh, what is that avatar? That is kind of weird looking. Okay. Interesting stuff we're getting here. Let's see. Oh, a long list of stuff. Ayo, we got the Dracula. So if I don't get any more tanks out of these crates, then I will be reviewing the Dracula. But let's see. We'll keep going. Let's open up the mystery boxes next. Oh, yes. Look at this. 100 gold. Oh, boy. Yeah, guys, this is crate opening for you. Oh, my gosh. We actually get a mystery certificate. Okay, well, this is going to be a very interesting video. 500k credits is not terrible, I guess. We still have so many more crates to go. I'll open up this last, obviously. Let's see what we get from these gold booster or gold boxes here. I'm not even going to bother like waiting to open these because I'm not going to get any tanks from them, so I don't really care about them. Let's go for the mega containers next. I have a sneaking suspicion I will not get anything from these. We do get a black box, actually, which is not too terrible. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Let's see if we get anything from the last container. Oh. What do we have here? An emoji light. Oh yeah, my favorite attachment. Alrighty, well let's open up these Skoda containers first. Let's see, since we have 2 of them, of course. There we go. Nothing from the first one. And what are we gonna get from the second one? Absolutely nothing. I mean, 200 gold is okay. And let's get the Chimera crate open. We're probably going to get nothing from this as well. Oh, yeah, look at that. Actually, we got a nice amount of gold from that one. Let's open up the black boxes, and we'll finish up with the mystery certificate to see if we get anything else from it that's actually worthy of doing a review. Let's see here. What tank are we going to get? Oh, yeah, that's, we're going to stick with the Dracula on this one. Holy, I do not want to review the T23E3. Well, it is day 2 of this video, and because I got quite busy last evening, when I did make the crate part of this video, I wasn't able to fully record the video in one sitting, which is obviously what I was trying to do, but here we are, and yes, life happens. Anyways, we're going to get into the review part of this video. So let's break into the tank's stats to start off with. And getting into its gun, it deals 225 damage on its standard shells, 190 on the premium, and 270 on the HE, which is quite nice. So overall, the alpha damage on this tank is fairly nice, especially on the AP. However, its pen is not so nice. 163 on the standard is absolutely awful. 249 on the premium is okay, and 50 on the high explosive is also okay. But that standard pen is really, really bad, and you're really going to struggle to pen even tier 7 heavies frontally. You're probably going to have to load gold for the majority of your shells. So really try and get around your opponents in order to actually pen them. And yeah, good luck penning tier 8 heavies with your standard shells. Like, most of it's going to look like a tomato to you. The tank also does carry 10 degrees of gun depression, which makes it very flexible on all maps, which is very nice. Even though the tank doesn't have any armor, having 10 degrees of gun depression is very nice. In terms of the accuracy this tank has, it has 3.4 seconds of aim time with a dispersion of 0.353. So that dispersion will screw you over sometimes. I find the gun is kind of troll every once in a while when it doesn't need to be. Yeah, so for a medium tank, I mean, it's because of the higher alpha damage that they made this gun a little bit less accurate, sorry. So yeah, you'll sometimes find that the gun can be a little bit troll. And the DPM of just under 2,000 is not too shabby, especially for, again, a tank with 225 alpha at tier 7. The tank also does have this mechanic called track regenerator, which basically means that your destroyed track is restored twice as fast, as you can see here. Which means that you basically don't have to use your repair kits on repairing your tracks at all, which is, I mean, you shouldn't be doing that anyways, regardless of if you have this mechanic or not. But it means that your track repair speed will be almost instantaneous, meaning that, again, you just don't need to remember to repair your tracks manually at all, which is really nice. And it stops this tank from getting permatracked, which is very, very nice. Anyways, getting into the tank's mobility, you can see here this tank has insane mobility, and it's some of the best in terms of a medium at this tier here. You can see it goes 65 forward and 20 in reverse, which is absolutely fantastic. And its average power to weight ratio, its power to weight, is 41.5. So that means you are going to get up to your top speed like almost instantaneously right off the bat, which is really nice for getting out of situations that you can get yourself stuck in. So yeah, outrunning people in this tank is not very difficult. And its hull traverse rate of 67.95 means that you're going to be able to outflank a lot of heavy tanks quite easily. So yeah, overall, the mobility is fantastic on this tank, and you're really going to want to use it to your advantage. Now, let's talk about the armor profile really quick before I do get into game. This tank has no armor. You are going to be getting HE'd frontally and on the rear, and the only place that you really can't get HE'd is in this this side skirt here. You can see covering up the tracks, and the turret has a little bit of spaced armor, but for the most part, it doesn't. So yeah. Really play this thing carefully, and yeah, you're gonna have to be really careful in it. But anyways, let's get into game, and we'll see what we can actually do. Now, I did play this thing a little bit this morning, and I did get a pretty nice replay in it, so I probably will do 2 live games, and then I will show the replay after. But let's see what we can get ourselves into in terms of live gameplay. So yeah, how do you want to play this tank? Well, to start off, this tank is not very easy to play, I will say. It's not a noob-friendly tank whatsoever because of the lack of armor and the gun's kind of mid-accuracy. Yeah, you're going to have to play this thing carefully. And I recommend, at least when you start off in a battle, try and get some initial spots into your opponents. So try and get into like a frontline bush that's safe to get early spotting position or spotting on your enemy's positioning. And then from there, you want to like retreat and basically wait to see what their enemy team does. You don't want to be the one taking the first shots, especially in a tier 8 game like this. That will just leave you on no health, and having very little health in this tank end game is really bad. You want to be conserving your HP as long as possible in this thing in order to farm out some damage, because inevitably you will be taking shots in this tank. So it's just better to not bleed your HP too early into the battle. Anyways, we're on Vineyards for our first battle, and I will make my way, again, like I said previously, I will be trying to spot up early game using this bush right here. I find this is a pretty solid bush to use when you are in a medium tank or light tank, because you can see you spot up tanks like the CS who are crossing in the open. So we get 1 shell into the CS, and I am spotted, so I'm not going to keep poking that bush while I am spotted, because tanks like their TDs, their SU-130 can get easy shells into me from that position. So I am going to be a little bit careful. I will go unspotted, and then I will poke the bush again, because it doesn't seem like the rest of their team is really... They're not really focused on me right now, which is quite good. So let's see if I can get a shell into like the Chrysler K here. We're going to wait until he's like fully poking, and then we get a 245 roll into his side, and he is in fact just YOLOing, which is quite interesting there. So let's see if I can get another shell into him. There we go. Another nice roll, and you can see the alpha damage on this tank is really nice, especially for a tier 7. 225 alpha is fantastic when you are actually able to pen your shells with this thing. That's the real struggle, is penning shots in this tank is quite annoying, especially when you are facing tanks frontally. So you want to be flanking around the map as much as possible, and I do see our T-49 is in quite the pickle over here, so I am going to try and help him out with the help of our what is this? The Eagle 7 with us. So yeah, I will not be poking that SU-130 by myself, and I will just get a clear right into that guy, and hopefully the SU shoots at my teammate. He does, in fact, do so. So I will get a nice 274 HE roll into his vehicle, and just like that, he's only now a one-shot. So I should be able to... rip. Just didn't have the gun depression, and yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but hopefully we can bait a shell or just kill him like that. There we go. We did have enough gun depression to finish him off. Now I'm going to keep making my way on over into their spawn, and they only really have 3 tanks left, so it's not going to be that much of an issue anymore. In terms of trying to win this game, it's not really much of a challenge at this point. So I will just try and get a couple more shells in before the game is over. And hello, there's an AFK there. Let's use the ramming ability this tank has to deal a crap ton of ramming damage to this thing, the enemy silencer. This tank is pretty cool. It does have decent ramming abilities. So, wait a minute. What in the world, bruh? They have 2 AFKs? Wait, what? Wargaming, fix your matchmaker. Bruh. I don't know how that HE didn't pen. I thought I could pen that, but I guess not. Anyways, I don't know what else to say. This is just a free farm and a half right here. So I will be just tapping this guy, get an extra bit of 48 damage right there, and we do finish him off. So pretty solid first game, although we did have 2 AFKs at the end there to just get free damage into. But even without that, it was a solid win. So you can see there, I sort of did my initial spotting, and then I stayed back and waited for the enemy to make the first aggressive play. And that is really how you want to play this thing effectively. And you can see there, wow, the ace bar on this thing is actually quite low. Only 1150 XP needed to ace it. Interesting. Alrighty, let's get into game number 2. And yeah, so again, that first game, pretty solid showcase of the tank's ability on a pretty open map. And we're actually on a second open map. Winter Mall is another really good one for this vehicle. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what we can do. So I am up against tier 6s this time, which is actually really nice for us because then I don't have to worry about the bad pen as much. So I will be making my way towards medium side, as you probably should in this vehicle. And I will sit in that bush there and try and get some initial spots again. That's the gameplay style of this thing. Get your initial spots in and then run. So, yeah, I will get some initial spots in this bush here. And this is a pretty good spot for most medium tanks. Doesn't really matter if you have armor or not because you don't really need to sit here for all that long. But I am going to sit here long enough to see if their team is going to be here or not. And our Bulldog is pushing up quite aggressive. The rest of our team has gone heavy side, but they haven't spotted anything yet. So I don't really trust their enemy team at the moment. Even though that Bulldog has pushed up, I'm still going to be quite cautious because, yeah, you never know. They could be all camping in their spawn for all I know. And it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like they're all on heavy side. So you can see here the crazy good mobility. We're already up to our top speed. And I'm going to make my way towards the rear of this team and get into their spawn, where I can then farm out tanks like this. What is this guy doing? The Nomad is sitting in spawn. And the troll gun accuracy that this thing carries meant that we missed a pretty easy shell into the Nomad. However, we do get another one into him for a nice 250 roll right there. So, let's see. I will probably take a shell from him, but that doesn't matter too much. And I do see the IS-2 shielded is sitting in the back. So, let's see if I can get another nice shell into him. He is not focused on us at the moment, so I am able to farm him for free right now, which is quite nice. And even if he does focus me, I don't really care. I'm going to try and bait a shell from him. Let's see. Is he going to shoot me? He does, and he misses. Let's go. All right. Aiming, and we fire another 221 roll into his lower plate there. And yeah, so against tier 7s, this thing is quite strong. And it's a really, really fun tank to play, I will say. I haven't played the Dracula in a while, so I'm kind of glad that the crates gave me this tank to try out again. Because it's such a fun tank to just really use your mobility, flank around the map, and like it's just so fun to go crazy fast around the map in this game. So anyways, we have the Jag, wait, what is that? The Jagdpanzer IV, interesting. All right, well, we're gonna get a shell into him, and their IS-2 shielded is actually going to YOLO me here. So, yeah, that's okay, because I luckily did save my HP this whole game, and even if he does shoot me a couple of times, it doesn't really matter all too much. So we're going to try and flank his rear. That guy does have some good turret traverse, so I will be a little bit more careful, and let's see if I can, in fact, bait a shell from him. Let's see here. Boom. Unfortunately, that one doesn't pen him, and he does pen us back. So we're in a little bit of a tricky situation now. Luckily, actually, that's great, man. The Tankenstein really saved me there, and I'm really glad about that. So let's see if I can bait a shell from this this guy here. That's all I can really do at this point. I don't want to take one from him if I don't need to. And let's see. Come on, bro. Shoot me. Let's go. Come on. Oh my god, this guy just is not shooting at all. Bro, this guy's just sitting here. What am I looking at right now? Oh my god, bro. Come on, shoot me. Let's go. Wow, okay. That was just completely worthless, and I don't know what else to say about that. That's just... Bro does not want to shoot. Come on. You're just gonna die to the Smasher instead. Good job, man. Anyways, that was a very interesting second battle. I mean, that guy just sort of was staring at me and was oblivious to everyone else on the team. But oh well. We did deal 2,000 damage, which is not terrible for our second battle. And you can see there, flanking the map worked out well for us because their team wasn't on medium side. So we were able to get some okay farm into the rear of their team. And with that is our second battle done. So I will actually share this replay that I got in the tank this morning, which was a pretty fun replay. So I was playing on mobile on my iPad this morning in this tank. So you'll see the way I am aiming is a little bit strange because obviously it's an iPad and this thing has auto aim. So it's gonna look a bit different. And you'll see here, like, bro, when I'm looking around, it looks so strange compared to when I'm playing on keyboard and mouse. But anyways, because I do play on an iPad when I'm not making YouTube videos, because making YouTube videos and trying to stream your iPad is it's a big pain in the ass, so I just kind of avoid it. And because I feel like I'm okay on both keyboard and mouse and iPad, I just don't really care. But anyways, enough of that yapping about my device. We are on Black Goldville here, and we are making our way towards caves, which is usually a good spot for any tank with a lot of mobility. And we do spot up the Fixer to start our game off. So I was initially going to play aggressive because I couldn't see the rest of their team anywhere near us, but they did all get spotted at once. The thing with the Dracula is you have to play very cautiously because of how fast you are. You can get into the front line way faster than any other tank. So if you see that like one tank is spotted but the rest of their team isn't, don't assume that the rest of their team isn't over on the same side as that one player. So you don't want to do any sort of aggressive play too early into the game because you will get nuked by unspotted tanks just because of how much slower they are to you. Anyways, we have the Skoda here, which he put himself in kind of a sus position, and he's getting YOLO'd by an AMX 5100 and a T-34-1. So both of those tanks are trying to get shells into him, and I'm trying to support him the best I can, but I'm really the only tank who's over here with him. So it's not going too well, and I am going to trade a little bit too much with this T-34-1. But there's not really much else I can shoot at this game, so I'm just trying to get some extra damage in. And at this point, I see that our Skoda does die, so now I'm trying to really just get myself out of that spot. And I do take one more shell. Luckily, it was only 188 damage, but I do take another shell trying to leave, which is okay. So I'm going to reposition my tank. Again, if you see your team falling apart like that, don't keep sitting on medium side in caves, or on any map. Like, don't keep sitting in a spot where you see your team is just dying. Move and try and reposition to a better spot where you are less likely to get crapped on. So we see the AT-7 is all by himself behind their team, and so I'm going to try and get a couple of shells into him. Unfortunately for me, my gun is really trolling me for these first two shells. Like, I don't know where these shells are going. Well, I do. They're bouncing off his hatch for whatever reason. But third time's the charm, and we do get a nice 233 roll into the AT-7. So just like that, they are now down 3 vehicles, and now make that 4. Their M3Yo gets picked up by our Skoda. And now I'm going to farm out this Elephant, because again, picking off tanks that are playing by themselves is what you want to do in this tank, because it's basically your safest option to get damage out, since this thing has no armor. You don't want to be like showing your tank to like 5 different enemies at once. If you can see tanks that are isolated, then go for them, because yeah, it's just a lot easier to kill them. The Elephant does get picked up by the RHM, and I do get shot at by that T-34-1, but he is the only one alive, so it doesn't really matter. And here's where the fun part happens. Look at this, I get a shot into him on the move, and whee! Look at that. Oh yeah, jumping right over the T-34-1 and finishing him off. That was like, I got 100 style points for that gameplay right there. That was very nice, and quite a fun game there, and a good showcase of how to use the Dracula's mobility to its advantage. You saw there, once I was losing medium flank, I had to get out of dodge, and I left and moved my tank to a different position where I could then farm out some other opponents. And you can see there we did 2,900 damage, and we did ace it once again. So, yeah, this tank is really quite fun, and if you do ever have the opportunity to get it, and you are looking to pick up a tank that has, like, less armor, if you want to get into the playstyle of having a medium tank with no armor to try it out, this is a good place to start, and especially because it's a tier 7, it'll be easier for you to learn this sort of playstyle at a lower tier, and then work your way up to things like the Leopard 1 and Object 140, which have similar playstyles to this. But yeah, this is a very fun tank, and I enjoyed playing a couple of games in it for you. Anyways, for any of you out there who are not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so. It's a fantastic way to support my content that I make, and stay up to date when I post almost daily. Anyways, with that out of the way, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.